Hello everyone and welcome to another Little Nightmares theory video, but not just any theory video. I made a community post asking you all, what would you want to know about the most in the Little Nightmares games, and what keeps you up at night still from the Little Nightmares franchise and universe? And I thought, why not try pick some comments and let's try break down some of the questions and answer them with theories. And of course this video is going to contain some spoilers, so be warned, we're going to be potentially spoiling the old comics, the current comics, Little Nightmares 1, Little Nightmares 2, and Very Little Nightmares. So I'm going to pick some comments that are from the top of the post and then I'll go down a few more and cover those as well. If your comment doesn't get answered by this video, don't worry, rest assured there are going to be more videos like this. This is just the first video of many that are going to be testing the waters of the format. So again, if you have any theories or questions that you want answered, let me know in the comments below and you could be on the next video where I talk about some of these topics. Because from this point on, I won't be doing another community post about it, I'll be taking the next suggestions from the video. So, with that being said, grab your favourite beverage or snack and let's get into this video. So let's begin with the first comment, and it comes from Faceless Art and Skills, and they said, I've always wondered how Mono got his powers, and that had kept me wondering for so long, so please try and do a video about it. So let's do it right now. So why does Mono have powers? And I think my simple answer is because of the signal tower. I say this because we all know Mono is the Thin Man, who's in this time loop stuck in the signal tower, so he's attached to the signal tower at all times. And we could assume that the signal tower is the problem, with the evidence of 6. This may also answer some bits of other people's questions about 6 in the comments too. We know that Little Nightmares 2 was indeed a sequel to the first game we played, and the difference between 6 and the first game to Little Nightmares is huge to us. And the first one, 6 would get hunger pains and eat, but it wasn't normal eating. No, this hunger would make her keel over to the point where she's unable to move anymore. She would cough, lights would flicker and Dark 6 would appear. And we know the more the game progresses, the more powerful the hunger became, and the darker her eating habits became. But in Little Nightmares 2, we got none of that. She was just like a normal child, well, apart from some creepy aspects, but there was no Dark 6 and no hunger. If you have seen the secret ending, Dark 6 only appears after she escapes the signal tower, and then we hear her hunger for the first time in Little Nightmares 2. So I definitely think it's something to do with the signal tower, and this is where Mono gets his powers. So in short, of course, Mono's power is being fed by the signal tower, and the reason why the signal tower has a connection to Mono and can still feed him these powers is of course through the Thin Man, and somehow they are intertwined, and this is where I believe both of them end up getting their powers. So on to the next question. Nicholas Winter asks, what role do the children play in the world, including why are they being captured? Are they what the guests eat? Why do some of them develop powers and turn evil? So to start off with the first question, what role do the children play in the world? I think it's a mixture of a few things. Playing the game, I think they have a role of survival, and Mono is a great example of this. Seeing a child in the Little Nightmares universe grow up for the first time and becoming the thing they were running from, possibly the worst outcome for someone that's running away from themselves. But I think as they created the game, it's just more scary playing a child in a world full of monsters. I think a real good example of this is a band called MGMT, and they wrote a song called Kids. And in the music video, you see how the child is portraying the rest of the world and the people around him. It's funny, I remember watching a Dave Mervick interview where he would explain everything is more blown up when you're younger, like when the teacher is peering down at you at school and you feel like her neck is really long, kind of thing, very exaggerated.
Usually you take like something and you try to really like twist it, make it like really exaggerated.
Kid would describe them, you know, if a kid had a nightmare or something and they're trying to describe what was it you were so scared of in this dream, like, and everything's writ large, then it's the biggest thing they've ever seen, like, you know, the longest arms you've ever seen, everything's so exaggerated, like just like some drawing or whatever.
And the next part of this question is, why are they being captured? It seems different children are captured for different reasons, or it's just a bad timing and bad place. For instance, if we look at Very Little Nightmares, you see the blue-haired child be captured and later turned into a doll for the Pretender. If we look at Little Nightmares 1, you will see the janitor capture children like rats in cages and wrap them up in muslin-type cloth and hang them upside down to be shipped somewhere else on the moor. So yeah, I'd say each monster seems to have a very different reason for capturing the children, or none at all. Like the chefs will just chuck you into the stew. They have absolutely no care whatever, they just think, hey, a Dorito, and chuck it in. Although, I do have a theory somewhere on the channel where I theorise I thought the lady created the moor at one point to keep the children safe from the outside world, until something happened in the moor that turned it dark. And to the next part of this question, are they what the guests eat? And I think the answer to that is both yes and no. And why I say that is just as I mentioned about the chefs. They don't seem to care what they do put into the stew. The janitor seems to be doing something by wrapping the children up and hanging them, something similar to how we would leave meat to cure now. But at the same time, it's heavily suggested that the guests eat the previous guests, as we see their shoes being shot down into the bottom of the moor in the clothes and suitcases. And when they arrive on the moor, on the Bandai Namco official Little Nightmares website, I will leave a link in the description below, the guests are described as leaving one way or another, so I think the answer there is both yes and no. I think, in other words, when the guests on the moor are so greedy, I don't think it matters necessarily what's going into their mouth, just that something is. And the final part, why do some of them develop powers and turn evil? As I mentioned in the first comment, I think this might have something to do with the signal tower, seeing as 6 seemed to be fine until she came out of the signal tower. And in our next question, Toy Box Studios asks, what was the world of Little Nightmares before the events of the game? Was it a normal world, or was it taken over by some higher being? I always believed that it had a sense of normality before something happened, as when you're playing Little Nightmares 1 and 2, we see so much evidence of what it was when it was normal. Like in Little Nightmares 2, the viewers' houses looked like lived in, the streets were littered with shops, and they could get groceries, a mail service where they could send some letters. And then we have the moor, where children were looked after by a governess, a lady, and staff at one point, having playrooms, bedrooms, and a canteen. But I also believe that there was a higher being that the moor was built to hide from, as creating a vessel underwater in which you have a governess look over the children seems a bit extreme, and a very extreme length to go to. It suggests to me that on land became unsafe, and we see that in Little Nightmares 2. One of the forms of evidence of it just being a normal place at one point is the mystery room. The person who had the picture of the lady and a flyer of the moor, whoever lived there seemed to wanted to escape to the moor also. So to conclude that thought, I do believe that the Little Nightmares universe at one point was normal, but I do believe that something came. Whether or not it was something like the signal tower or the north wind, but as we know now, the north wind doesn't matter because, as we know now, the old comics are irrelevant and they're non-canon. So who knows, maybe this is where the franchise could go in the future, maybe exploring that, but who knows. I do definitely think at one point it was okay and then it just went south. But anyway, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to drop a comment in the comment section to let me know what you think about this little series of theories and whatnot explained and answered. You know the drill. If you enjoyed it, make sure you hit subscribe and make sure to share it with some people that enjoy Little Nightmares. And of course, make sure you hit like if you enjoyed the video and dislike if you didn't. But with that being said, thank you ever so much for joining me. And again, if you want a question answered or something explained about the Little Nightmares universe, drop a comment below, and then we'll see if I can include it in the next video, and let's see if we can answer it then and then. If not, everyone, in the meantime, let me know how you would answer some of these questions you saw today. And with that being said, I wish you a lovely morning, day, or night wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next Little Nightmares video.